Now let's look at the cases in ethical journalism. There have been several cases where the media have debated ethical and not ethical issues in journalism. In print journalism, the matter isn't highlighted so much due to the limited coverage and the print being less sensational than the television. Indian television news is full of cases where ethical journalism has become the point of debate. In 2012, the rape and murder of 23-year-old student in Delhi shook the country. For a few weeks, the country was engrossed in the news without blinking an eye. The 4 convicts of the crime were sentenced to death by hanging. A few months later, filmmaker LESLEE UDWIN made a documentary with the interview of the convict and his lawyers. It was to shown in NDTV, but the police moved to the court demanding that the movie shouldn't be broadcast. Not only were the people but media houses divided over the broadcast of the film. While NDTV and First Port supported the broadcast, Times Now said that it is unethical as it defames the victim. And if you see the BBC journalist who says that journalists started questioning the ethical boundary, saying that the documentary might weaken the cases. Eventually, the documentary was not screened on the television. It raised the debate on the ethical boundary on television. There are other instances where the unethical reporting of the newspaper has led to major damage. Unethical journalism not only hurts the media, but it has a large purveyor within society. 2 examples from broadcast and print journalism are as follows. During the 26/11 attack in Mumbai, the terrorist attacked multiple locations in Mumbai, caught people's attention in 2008. It was big news for the television, which aired the coverage of the incident for over 60 hours as terrorists were in hiding at the Taj Mahal Hotel after the attack. The incident became an example of unethical reporting after the television news gave out the two-minute details of the police operations on the TV. The terrorists got the updates from the television news channels as the hotel still had the connection. It was found out that the terrorists knew about the intricate details of the operation. Even the police movement as they watched it on television network. The error was repeated by almost all the mainstream channels, including CNN, IBN, NDTV, 24/7, Aaj Tak, India TV, and other television channels. The unethical compromised the national security and also put the security operation at threat. The problem remains with the print media as well. In the case of reporting on terrorism and crime, the media should wisely use a specific terms before calling an accused. In 2005, an accused arrested after the series of bomb blasts in Delhi was covered by Hindustan Times in an unethical manner. The report was titled, "This is the 29/10 bomber," and it describes Shah was a high-ranking Lashkar-e-Toiba operative who planted a bomb in DTC bus in October 2005. After spending 11 years in jail, Mohammad Rafiq Shah was acquitted of jail charges. The report, based on the police narratives, described him as a bomber who was on a mission to create widespread destruction. So here, though Shah was proved innocent, still the news published about him famed him and proved him guilty in front of the masses. Now let's discuss the code of ethics for journalists. There are several codes defined for journalists and media houses. But some of the basic universal code for ethical journalism is defined by the Society for a Professional Journalist. It lays four principles as the foundations for journalists. SPJ Code of Ethics, which describes this. According to them, 1. Seeks truth and report it. The basic principle of the journalist is to seek truth and report the facts. A journalist should take responsibility for the news and report fact accurately. The journalist should identify the sources, caution before collecting facts, triangulate leads, and verify the claims. Second, minimize harm. Journalism is a risky profession. A journalist works on very slippery ground. A journalist's work involves putting in risk the identity of the sources, the subjects, and the organization. A journalist should also keep in mind that the pursuit of the news is not a license for arrogance or undue intrusiveness. A journalist has to give privacy to his subjects. He cannot trespass on their rights, and he cannot act in such a way that he causes an injury to the reputation of the subject. And the third one is act independently. Journalism is synonymous to independence. The biggest threat and challenge to journalism are governmental institutions. A journalist has to report against the government and hold it to account. But in many cases, a journalist is lured by government and other institutions for undue favors and other lucrative perks. The fourth, be accountable and transparent. A journalist should be accountable to the fact or facts he reports. He should make choices wisely and be honest, encouraged to realize his mistakes, if any. He should be quick to respond to any accusations or questions regarding his accuracy and journalistic practice. Apart from the codes mentioned above, other ethics like confidentiality of the source should be kept in the account. Source-based journalism is widely practiced in case of government policies, conflict, defense reporting, and national polity. In such cases, there are no other options to gather information except getting it from sources. The anonymity of sources is kept in the account to protect the sources. An emergency like terror attacks, infiltration, or a right demands a special care before breaking the news need to be taken. Ethical journalism in such cases demands that the news should be broken with utmost care, taking the national security in mind. The conflict of interest in breaking the news first against national security should be carefully judged and evaluated. Similarly, in case of rape or child abuse, special care should be taken as not to reveal the identity of the victim. It has often been seen that the photo of the minor victims are shown or rape victim identity is revealed. Such ignorance is unethical as it affects the identity of the victim in the long run. In the globalization era, there is a stiff competition between media houses for viewership, readership, and other ratings to get advertisers. The stiff competition and the fight to sustain in the market have led media houses to sensationalize news and sugarcoat information to make it lucrative to an audience. Ethical journalism goes against sensationalization of news for the audience and present information in the most direct manner.